Hey guys and gals, welcome back to Life with the Beckers. So, we just got a new machine. If you can't already tell, it's running in the background. But we just got it. It should be a game changer for us, help us do a lot of cool new things. So, in this video, we're going to be unboxing it, setting it up, everything like that, printing out a test file. Printing out a test file? Yeah, that's right. It's a 3D printer. We have the Voxlab Aquila 3D printer. If you guys want to see more 3D printing videos in the future, definitely let us know. Link's going to be in the description. But yeah, let's check out the Becker bullets and we'll get started. Alright guys, getting it out of the Amazon box. Voila! Notification. The power unit is 115/230 volts. I'll make sure and check that out when the time comes. Alright, so there's the printer bed, some components, a little bit of filament, and the user manual. Okay, hardware, plastic bit, ooh, screen, power cord, probably the extruding thing somehow or something. Now that I feel like I have everything kind of like spread out, everything that I'll need, I'm gonna dig into this owner's manual to see what we got going on. Alright, so the first step is going to be attaching the two arms. I used the bag of M5x45 screws and the hex Allen wrench they gave you, and we're going to get at it from the underside. This one has the sensor, so make sure that you attach that correctly. Step 1 done. Step 2 is installing the Z-axis motor kit and T-shaped screw rod. So we're going to need these two screws, this wrench, the motor, and the screw rod. Okay, so you place this in here, tighten it down. So there's two little screws here. This one attaches it to the motor. That one should be tight. Don't worry about that one. This one will hold in the screw rod, so this is the only one that we really need to tighten down. And then there's two places for these countersunk screws. And so the screws just go right in through here. And then they'll go up against this and hold on like so. Voila! Next, we're going to be installing some pneumatic joints, which are these. We're going to need these little screws. We're going to be putting this thing onto this bar. We'll also need the open-ended wrench they gave you and the same hex wrench we've been using. So there's this long bit here, and that's going to go on here. So you'll want to use the side with the indent rather than the side without the indent. instead of using these little baby ones, we'll want to use these bigger black ones. Whoopsie. What's nice is we just drop it through. You want to make sure it's not too tight before you get your second one on there, just in case it's not perfectly lined up or you need to adjust it at all or anything like that. And then the last little bit is going to be one of these joints. We'll use the wrench, and if we're holding it with the business end up, then we'll want to put it in the side here, kind of the same side that goes out. We'll drop in the threaded side. And then tighten her down. Voila. Step 4. You'll need this extruder head, this triangle 3-wheel thing, another black nut like we used on this big rod thing. We'll need the big rod thing. They call it this is the X-axis kit. So we'll need that. And then lastly, we'll need the synchronous belt, which is this thing. So we're going to just place this thread down on it as well. So this belt, flat side up, we're going to install the extruder. And this will hold down the belt as it moves along and allow it to pass back and forth and that kind of thing. So we're going to install the extruder on the opposite side of all like this business, and then on kind of the bare side, that's where we'll install the 3-wheeled part. Okay, when you're installing this, there's even a nut here that fits the other like recessed area, and we don't put in this nut yet, we just put in this one, and it should be even with this rail. Nice, this just slides on. Put on this 3-wheeled thing after the extruder. Perfect. So that one just slides on. Next up, we're installing the X-axis tensioner. So we'll need that. We'll need this kind of housing with a little switch in there. We'll need 2 more of these little black screws we've been working with, and these 2 silver ones with washers. We're going to need the biggest size, and we're also going to need our X-axis assembly, which is this thing that we just built. First, disassemble the tensioner block. Insert the belt into the tensioner block and put it into the X-axis tensioner together with the synchronous belt. So turn it so the V is right side up, and so your belt is draped on the bar. Okay, so we have the V up. This is gonna wrap around here, so we have to lace it through. It's gonna go like that. And then this thing goes over the whole thing. Tighten it with these black ones. Yeah, it says during the current operation, please do not tighten the X-axis tensioner screws with too much force. So we don't want to put too much force on it. And we'll just put this thing back on it. I'm not sure where we want it just yet, but that way at least it's in the right place. When you're putting these on, you just need to bend it upwards a little bit and kind of slide it on in there. Same with the other side. Voila. Then you can kind of work with your tensioner to make sure that everything's like nice and taut. Alright, so here you just need to put on the cap and we'll secure it with these bolts. Alright, the next part is going to be attaching this assembly here. Line up the wheels. It does fit on quite snug. And then spin your little bar thing to lower it down. It's starting to look like a 3D printer. Okay, so now we'll want to make sure that they hit their sensors. That one does. This one, actually it just says to test the one, but that's probably a good idea. It says this should move with no noise. I'm also going to tighten these support nuts, or screws rather. Well, it's not absolutely silent, but that's pretty good. Next, we're going to install the gantry profile, and that is going to be this other black bar here. Ooh, with the recesses facing upwards. Going back to the biggest one, we'll drop these bad boys down in there. Excellent. Then we're also going to be installing the screen. Dun-dun-dun. This bad boy. And this clippy thingy. So, take these and these. They go together quite beautifully. Ah, so this little bit goes in sideways, turns vertical, and that's how it holds the screen on there. And the screen will clip in like this, be attached on here like so. Get these 4 put in first. Then line up your screws, of course. Or the nuts, rather. There we go. Control panel plugs in thusly. Next, we're going to be installing the spool holder. So this will, or the filament holder. For this step, we're going to need some
covers for the ends here. This little bit. 2 more of these little backings. Those 2 smaller nuts or screws from earlier. And this metal plate. So first, I'm going to put on the end caps. And keep in mind, this is on the same side as the screw. Like this. And I'm kind of getting ahead of myself here, like that. Anyway, the caps. Dun, dun, dun. Caps are very basic looking. Let's hope their installation is also basic. Woo! One of the easiest parts on the thing. Okay, so from the last one I learned these little things, they look really cool, but they're pretty not cool. They can be pretty not cool. Well, especially if you put it in the wrong way. Got it. Okay. So place them in. Line it up. Got one of them on there. Then voila. Or not. Nala. Well guys, as it turns out, I hate these things. Okay, had some success. Just kind of hand tightening it. Okay, they're both in. They're both snug. All the way over. Lined up. Opposite side. Now comes this part. Voila. Easy as cake. Okay, so this is what it looks like all assembled. Now I just have to get the wires in, which we'll do in a second, and then we'll be able to get printing. Next step is connecting the wires. So first we're going to take this white one and plug it into that pneumatic, what you call it, that we did before, or that we had before. In this step, we're also going to need the power cord. And you'll want to find these extra little bits that are sticking out here. E is going to go right in here. Okay, so here's the E motor. That's the one with this white that comes into it and is on the rod. This is the X motor. And this bottom one is the Z motor. So when you're plugging these in, you just plug in the X to the X, the E to the E, and the Z to the Z. There's also the sensor. So the Z goes into the Z sensor.
Zeiss Sensor? Zeiss Answer? Ah, Zeiss Answer. Wait, Answer? Woo! That means we did it!
We win!
So it was Carm's uncle, Dustin.
And we knew it.
Yeah, we did.
We guessed, we knew it.
And then we put in a couple more guesses just
to
in
be
case.
safe, yeah.
But yeah. So awesome.
So if anybody wants to be a new surprise mystery fan, you know, make an account, subscribe again, anything like that, we definitely wouldn't be upset.
And the X will go into the X sensor. And the E does not have a sensor, so we don't have to worry about that. The ones for the Z are actually under the bed. And we should be set. Now just plug in the power and turn it on. For us, 115 is perfect, but if you're in like Europe, then you'll want to use 230. Otherwise, anyone in the US will be using 115 pretty much. Definitely double check if you want, but that's pretty much a good rule. Yay! So far so good. Ooh la la.
Printer, I barely know her.
So I'm going to remove these little snaps that came with it. And the plastic. Okay, then I'm going to put the clamps back on. Alright, so now we're going to do the bed leveling. So first, we're going to go to Control, then Auto Home. Yay, it's working! Next, we go to Disable Stepper. So now, we move the extruder in the bed so that it's right above the spring. And we're going to use a piece of paper. We place it in there, and then once the nozzle of the extruder can just gently scratch the paper, then that's how we'll know that we're at the right depth. So we can just barely scratch the paper. So then I'll move it over to the next one. There we go. Excellent. So now it should be okay. Next up, we're going to be preheating the filament. So, go to Control and Preheat PLA. There's two types of plastics, ABS and PLA. They are different, but the one that came with ours is PLA. So that's really nice. And that's just going to heat the nozzle there and the bed so that there will be a good adhesion when we go to print. Okay, loading the filament. So I have it up here. They say to cut it at a 45-degree angle. So I've done my best at just that. Okay. So this is how we can test the filament here. We bring this down and we feed it in. There's a hole right over there, the only one. Pull back the spring, feed it through. Kind of rock it, that way you can make sure you get it in there. There you go. So you pull it in there, it'll kind of click. Now I'm going to go auto home again. Next, we're going to go to Control, Automatic Load. It's heating. Please feed it through. Alright, I'm ready to begin the first test print. Tequila test model. Right now it's heating up. We've reached temperature. Commencing play. Oh, there it goes. It's extruding. It's doing it to it. So we're a little bit of the way into it. Check it out. It's got like little hexagons on the inside. Alright, we got it all done. This is what it looks like. It's a nice just little hook. A little bit of extra stringy on it, but that's okay. That is the first print. But heck yeah.
Man, that took a bit longer than I expected, but now we have an unlimited tool. Well, we have to buy plastic, but that's not expensive.
Anything in our 8x8x8 dreams.
Exactly. So, yeah, like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. If you guys have any, like, recommendations, definitely let us know. But, that's all for this one, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.